Alright, everybody. This is chapter 1 of Psychology 333 Experimental Psychology, the science of psychology. So what is science? Psychology is a science. It's a scientific study of a human behavior and mental processes. And science is a general way of understanding the natural world featuring, this is in your book, systematic empiricism, empirically testable questions, and public knowledge. I'll give you a really brief introduction, but mostly you can read your book. So, the first one, systematic empiricism, learning about the world through careful observation. Not only observation, but we have to be objective. Now the second, empirically testable question. This is a very important one. What do we mean testable? Because a lot of times we ask questions that cannot be tested. For example, if we always ask people, say, hey, what is your sign? Oh, you are Scorpio. According to the book, the Scorpio people, they are very, let's say, ambitious. Now, what do we actually mean ambitious? Because everybody, pretty much everybody has some ambition in them, don't we? It's very hard to test this question. So this question actually is not testable. It can always be true to some degree. So, for example, a testable question. For example, women talk less than men do. Now, if we carefully define talk, like maybe how many words spoken in the day, right? Then we can collect and analyze the data to answer this question. This question can be tested, can be verified as true or false. That is a testable question. And science need to ask testable question. After we get the result, we need to make it public. That's public knowledge. Make it public, people can criticize it, improve it, or do the same thing, replicate the research and so on and so forth to further our knowledge about this field. So that's public knowledge. Now, science versus pseudoscience. What is a pseudoscience? A lot of people think they know science, but what they actually know is a pseudoscience. It's a set of beliefs or activities that is claimed to be scientific, but actually lack of one or more of the three features of science. For example, let me try to read this, okay? Phrenology, it's a long time ago. You feel people's skull, the bombs on the skulls and that determine the person's personality. Okay, physiognomy, is that how you say it? It's reading a person's face to determine that person's personality and even future. It's still really popular in Taiwan, believe it or not. So for example, like, this person has a thick eyebrows, must be really hot-tempered, not very easy to get along with, things like that. Mesmerism is something to do with curing disease with magnets. Spiritualism, like do we talk to spirits, ghosts? Those are not science, okay? Now, how do we know if it's a pseudoscience or psychological science? Now, how do we test it? Actually, right now, there's still a lot of things we think may be true. For example, learn while you sleep. Some people say there's some tapes playing French or Spanish, and just put it under your pillow. You listen to it while you sleep, and after a month or two, you learn how to speak that language. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this. I'm not going to show you this clip, you can just do it, search yourself. Okay, so just go to YouTube and search this title. Okay, and by the way, this guy is a really famous rich guy. He gives a lot of talks. Make a lot of claims. Now, is that true? We can learn while we're sleeping. Now we need to do research, use scientific science, psychology to test it. Another thing is a subliminal message. Subliminal means outside or below our awareness. Okay, so we are not aware of the message, but somehow we might be influenced by it. Take a look at this one. And again, you can search yourself, right? In the Food Network, being caught inserting McDonald's subliminal advertising. So of course, the idea is you are not aware of it. But when you see McDonald's in the sign, then you probably suddenly you want to order something from McDonald's, right? Subconscious influence our behavior. Now, is that true? Is it possible? We need scientific science, scientific psychology to answer the question. And guess what? The answer is no. Now, this is a very important idea, not only, in my opinion, not only for this class or for the exam, but also for our lives. Scientific claims must be falsifiable. Like what we just said, we need to ask questions that can be falsified. Yeah. Alright. So now this is the model, the process of scientific research in psychology. First, we make observation. Right? We might have some questions. So we generate research questions. We go to research literature to look for some answers. But the answers probably will not be complete. So we have research questions. And with that, we do empirical study and collect and analyze the data. Those data can either verify or verify our conclusion, our prediction, either yes or no. And from there, we generate more research. Alright. Now, can we rely on common sense? We usually rely on common sense, and that actually is very dangerous because our common sense is really not reliable. We call something folk psychology. It's people's intuitive beliefs about human behavior, mental process, or a lot of things. It's not reliable because, take a look at this. The Earth is flat. Well, right now we'll laugh at it, but 500 years ago, everybody believes in it, right? Because they rely on their common sense. Sugar causes a hyperactivity. Well, common sense, right? Actually, it's wrong. Yeah, believe it or not, sugar does not cause hyperactivity. Anger can be relieved by letting it out. So people say, "Oh, you're angry, punch some bags, or smash dishes. You let out the anger, you will not be angry anymore." Actually, that's false. Okay, so how can so many of our intuitive beliefs about human behavior be so wrong? Well, because of confirmation bias, among other reasons. Confirmation bias. We tend to notice and remember things that is consistent with consistent with our beliefs, and we'll ignore, dismiss, or forget about the things that are inconsistent with our belief. Okay. Hindsight bias. A lot of times we know something, and then we'll try to explain, come out with some explanation. It is really easy. The explanation might make sense, but unless we test it, unless we do a research, we do experiments, an idea is forever an idea. We cannot believe it is true. Okay. Now, scientists, they need to be skeptical. So that's the attitude of skepticism. Okay. We need to consider alternatives, search for evidence before accept any belief or claim. And also we need to cultivate tolerance for uncertainty, and this is difficult because tolerance for uncertainty, no matter what happened, good or bad, we want to know the answer. We want to know why it happened, right? It's very hard for human nature, to accept. Well, sometimes we don't have an answer. Yeah, like a witch hunt. A long time ago, we have no idea about virus, bacteria. So, wow, somebody got sick and died. Then we say probably it's because of the witch. So that's for the lesson.